What's up everyone, welcome to Ashley Talks Movies and welcome to my review of Oh Hi. This is the second feature film from writer-director Sophie Brooks, and it follows a young couple, Iris, played by Molly Gordon, and Isaac, played by Logan Lerman, who head to a farmhouse for a romantic weekend getaway. However, their weekend takes a dark turn when they discover they are in very different places when it comes to their relationship. Before I jump into the review, do me a favor, make sure you subscribe, that way you can keep up with everything I'm posting on the channel, including all of the movie reviews, entertainment news, and more.
I just didn't expect this.
Dinner's ready.
Expect what? The handcuffs?
For it to feel this easy. Our first trip as a couple.
I think you're great. I'm just not really looking for a relationship right now.
Are you joking?
Honestly didn't know what to expect going into Oh Hi. I remember this movie screened earlier this year at Sundance, but I didn't hear much buzz about it. And then I saw the trailer and I thought it looked like a quirky little indie comedy, and that's basically what it is. It's a dark comedy about relationships, but things take a very strange, unexpected turn. This movie has a very interesting premise, but unfortunately, it doesn't know how to follow through with it. And the first 20 minutes or so of this movie are actually really solid. It starts off as this charming romantic comedy where we see Iris and Isaac arriving to the farmhouse that they've rented for their romantic weekend, and we get glimpses at two people who have amazing chemistry, who seem really into each other, and who want to spend as much time together as possible. It's not too long before things start to unravel, and Iris and Isaac realize that they're not on the same page with their relationship status, and they each have a very different reaction to that realization, which is the catalyst for everything else that happens in this movie. Oh Hi has a lot to say about relationships, about how miscommunication can lead to misunderstanding, how people can come into a relationship with very different expectations, and how people can feel betrayed if those expectations aren't met. And that leads to some very funny moments in the movie, but it also leads to some really unfunny moments in the movie. And this movie takes some turns that are just bizarre. And the second half of this movie is really just an awkward, mostly unfunny mess. The leads make this movie somewhat enjoyable. Molly Gordon is quite good as Iris, a young woman who believes that she's found something special with Isaac, who she's been dating for about 4 months. There's something playful about her character, even though there's also a darker side that is slowly revealed. Logan Lerman is also good as Isaac, a guy who isn't as sure as he seems about his thoughts on love and relationships, and even those layers get pulled back a little bit in this movie. They have great chemistry despite where the movie takes their characters. You also have some supporting characters who show up mostly just for comic relief, like Iris's friend Max, played by Geraldine Viswanathan, who basically just shows up to help her out of her predicament, or even Max's boyfriend Kenny, played by John Reynolds, but he's given even less of a purpose. One of the biggest problems is that these characters aren't really likable. It's hard to root for them. It's hard to care for them. And it's not really the fault of the actors. They do a good job of what they're given. It's mostly how these characters are written. Now, whether you like this movie or not will depend on how you feel about the twist. This big thing that I am avoiding talking about in detail because I don't do spoilers here, so I'm basically talking around it. But once it happens in the movie, if you buy into it, then you're probably going to be okay with how everything progresses with the story and the characters. If you don't buy into it, then you're probably not going to like this movie, because a lot of the arguments and commentary this movie is making on relationships centers around this specific thing happening and how each character reacts to this thing happening, how everyone deals with it, and how the movie handles it. Initially, I didn't mind the twist because I thought the movie was going to do something clever with it, but I ended up not liking how the movie was trying to justify certain things and certain arguments it was trying to make. And then you get to the end and the filmmaker is trying to wrap everything up really nicely, and you don't even get a satisfying payoff. So Oh Hi was a movie that had a really interesting premise, a really good cast, and then kind of squanders it all once it gets to this twist that it basically tried to stretch out into a full-length movie. And to make up for it, it just makes things get so much more bizarre and weird and strange and not very interesting. So those are my thoughts on Oh Hi. It's out in theaters this weekend. Do you plan on seeing it? Let me know in the comments. While you're here, make sure you like and subscribe and stick around for more videos like this.